You don't get to 500 million friends without making a few enemies. Today's review is The Social Network. This is a 2010 nominee for the Academy Award for Best Picture. And first, let me say, I hate this cover art here. It looks so stupid. Like, hey, happy, smiley Jesse Eisenberg. It's going to be a fun movie about Facebook. But the clever thing here, you can just slip this right off, and then you get the cool tagline here and kind of the more infamous kind of art here. Like the artwork for the promotion of the movie was really kind of interesting, and it influenced a lot of other movies to come, like the text over someone's face, which was cool. So this is more like it, I think. And I think that, like, this artwork presentation for the Blu-ray, intentional or not, I think it says a lot about the movie, in that there's more to it than what the surface may promise, sort of, because I want to admit that when I first heard this movie, it's over 5 years old now. When I first heard that they were making a movie about the making of Facebook, the founding of Facebook, I was very skeptical. I thought it would just kind of be a stupid thing, like even with someone like David Fincher directing. Like at that kind of point in time, it was just after Benjamin Button, which I wasn't crazy about. That was kind of a schlocky movie, in my opinion, kind of a for your consideration-y type of movie. I thought maybe he'd begun to lose his way, maybe. Oh, me of little faith. But you can almost tell how a movie like this would kind of turn out, where there's, a lot of light bulb moments where the character's like, oh, wait, I can make this into the Facebook thing. Oh, yeah, relationship status? Wow. And there are moments like that in the movie, but you can kind of almost picture it being this completely masturbatory kind of thing, where it completely puts this young genius, this prophet, this voice of a generation, this whatever, put him on a pedestal. But that's not so with this movie. It's really not, and it's something as patented through David Fincher, is something we can expect through David Fincher. It scratches that surface, and it gets to areas that are a little bit darker, I'd say. And what really kind of won me over, what finally made me excited for the movie, was when they released that teaser trailer, which I think is a great trailer still, where they're showing the scenes through the movie, and it's set to Radiohead's Creep, but it's like a children's choir singing it. So I thought that was very interesting. It really set the tone for what we could expect from this movie. So it's definitely a lot more than what you could expect through a movie like this. And in different hands, other than maybe David Fincher, other than Aaron Sorkin with the screenplay, this could be exactly what I would have feared it to be, like this completely stupid true story of how Facebook was founded, because there's all the elements in place. There is a great invention, there's a great idea, there's a brilliant but flawed character, there's betrayal, there's jealousy, there's greed, there's a lawsuit, multiple lawsuits, and all that stuff. So you can see how this could almost be like a made-for-TV movie piece of crap. But Fincher, in the way that, and Sorkin's screenplay, the way it carefully develops its characters and their relationships and moves the story along in a certain way, I think it does get to deeper aspects, and it presents us with the greatest irony of the entire movie, which is, and the entire story as a whole, in that this kid who created the biggest social network of all time, of the whole universe, the whole world uses, he can barely manage his own social life and barely has a social life. So I guess that's the greatest irony. And it does kind of show, it is a coming of age kind of movie, where it does present this new generation as, geeky, nerdy, what have you, being cool. And what are these nerdy kids going to do now that they can be seen as cool? They can be seen as having money, throwing money around like it's nothing, and having this cool life. So, like, the idea of, the big jocks, the boat runners, the Winklevoss twins, 6'8", burly, muscly gentlemen. They're maybe not so much, the alpha males. So it's, reminds me of that quote from Bill Gates, where be nice to the nerd because you might be working for him someday, and that's true. And I think it shows that generation and maybe this generational struggle in that kind of transition, basically. So I thought all that was really interesting with this movie and how this character, this uh, Mark Zuckerberg, this creator of Facebook, in a lot of ways he is doing it because he's kind of put down by his girlfriend at the beginning of the movie. So it kind of opens and closes with the scenes where he's having a conversation with a woman about being a nerd versus being an asshole. So, trust me, Mark, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. People don't like you not because you're a nerd, but because you're a fucking asshole. So there's that. There's that to consider. And he is kind of an asshole in this movie. And there's a lot of betrayal, and some really dramatic elements. And I think it presents all that kind of core kind of stuff that you'd expect to see through this movie, but gives us a little bit of an edge to it through Fincher's style. And I mean the movie itself has darkness and like both thematically and in what we see on the screen. Like his movies are always kind of a little bit dim, a little bit kind of chromatic, and I think that gives it sort of a surreal feel, which I really like in his movies. And this whole movie kind of feels like that. So we're in this kind of dark world of Mark Zuckerberg's head, and I think guiding us through as Zuckerberg. Jesse Eisenberg, he's brilliant in the role. He was nominated for Best Actor, and he has this great kind of like OCD, kind of great pace. He's just shooting out dialogue like it's like a machine gun. He's incredible, and kind of him playing against a calmer character, like with Rooney Mara at the beginning, or like with Eduardo Saverin in most of the scenes in the movie where. They're friends, but they begin conflicting slowly but surely. There's like a betrayal going on. Andrew Garfield also brilliant in kind of playing that counter to the erraticness of Zuckerberg. They're both great, and this is kind of, I guess this is the Spider-Man versus Lex Luthor face-off, the closest thing we'll see to that. Armie Hammer also great playing the Winklevosses. Two roles for the price of one. Movies have too much money in their budgets when they're like, instead of getting twins, let's get one actor to play twins and fucking CGI, whatever. But also, really great in a role is Justin Timberlake, which he hasn't done too many acting gigs, but this is probably his best role, playing the founder of Napster, Sean Parker, and he shows Zuckerberg this world. He's like, hey man, you're cool. You're a nerd, but you're cool. Come to this world with me, party, have fun. But meanwhile, and kind of what closes the movie, Zuckerberg is finally able to see through Sean Parker what he actually is, and he kind of like looks at him. He's like, is that what I am? Is that what I'm gonna be? I don't want that. So I think that finally closes the movie. And Rooney Mara's the girlfriend's words, they're true. I mean, they really are. But by the time we reach the end of the movie, where the Rashida Jones character, who's in on the deposition, and they're having a break, they're talking. Like, she does kind of come to the conclusion, you're not an asshole. You're trying really hard to be. And we end the movie with him kind of refreshing the page, seeing if the friend request will be accepted. So there's hope for Zuckerberg, but it's after a huge trial. Not literally, but a huge trial. But I think it's a great movie. I think it is kind of one of these movies that stands and speaks for this generation, and kind of what the thing is. I mean, definitely. It is about the making of Facebook, and there are those moments. There are the light bulb kind of moments that they almost had to put in, but at the same time, the creation of Facebook, it's almost inconsequential. So it is more about what are these kids doing? One, they're college kids. Two, they're nerds. What are they going to do once all of a sudden they're fucking cool and they have a lot of fucking money and fame? So there's that, and behind every great invention, behind every towering skyscraper you see, there's probably been created. It's probably been created by a man who felt. Belittled and inferior by a woman in trying to prove himself or something like that. So isn't that the great story of everything? So poor Mark Zuckerberg. I think he learns his lesson in the movie. So I love this movie. I think it's great. Fincher kind of redeemed himself with this after I wasn't crazy about Benjamin Button, but that's neither here nor there. So definitely, if you haven't seen this movie, you gotta check it out. This is a fucking great movie. And that's my review, The Social Network. Fucking awesome. So be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, all the good stuff. Visit my Facebook page. Hi, this is Derek. Facebook me. Visit Derek237.com. All that good stuff. 31 Days of Oscar. I'm reviewing movies that have been nominated for or have won the Best Picture Oscar. So stay tuned for more before the big day on Sunday, the Academy Awards. And until then, I'll see you later.